Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another special episode of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly rundown where we talk movies, TV, music, and video games, but not necessarily in that order. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Every episode is special here on the Media Boat Podcast. We don't differentiate. It's always special. Today is August 13th, 2026. It's episode 551. And we should have a pretty quick one today. There's some stuff to talk about, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of like what goes on in summer is that sometimes stuff just doesn't happen in summer. But we still find the news for you anyways.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to start our podcast with the music section. Start the music section with the Billboard. Start the Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land is still Choosing Texas by Ella Langley.
Yep.
Coming in at 2, Hate That It Made You Love Me by Ariana Grande. Coming in at 3, Been By Now by Morgan Wallen. At 4, Petal by Ariana Grande. Hey, I'm trying to get your top 5. I Knew It. I Knew You by Taylor Swift. As for your Billboard 200, your albums chart, if you didn't notice that there were 2 Ariana Grande songs in the top 5 for the Hot 100, that's because Petal by Ariana Grande is your number 1 album this week.
Indeed it is.
Turns out you not listening to it did not hurt his chances. At number 2, the problem himself, Morgan Wallen. Coming in at 3, You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love by Olivia Rodrigo. At 4, Dandelion by Ella Langley. And running at top 5, The Great Divide by Noah Kahan.
Indeed.
So yeah, congratulations, Ari, for coming in to the top 5. You probably won't be here next week.
Yeah, I guess it's her best performing album and singles in 7 years. So, yeah, pretty good.
7 rings, 7 years. All right. If you like any of those albums, we have new releases, starting with Hermoso by Benny Blanco. Yes, that Benny Blanco. We also have Comes in Waves. Waves after waves, coming in waves, slowly drifting. Not the wrong song
No.
here. Comes in Waves by Carly Simon.
Yes, that Carly Simon.
Mhm. We also have The Big One by Dent May. Now, caution reading while listening to The Big One. It is extremely dangerous. Keep out of reach of children. Cool. We also have
Wow.
what?
That's a specific reference.
It is a very specific reference.
Anyway,
Why else? What else am I going to pull out that reference whenever you see The Big One?
sure. Yeah.
That's why you listen to us for very specific references.
Like it. Yeah, that's why.
We also have Blood Horse! Exclamation point by Grace Cummings. Big World by Hovde. Because there are V's in there, not a W.
Mhm.
Sorry Kid by Johanna Samuels. Sunshine by Jungle. Blowing Up by Kiwi Jr. Fata Morgana by Lorraine. That is L apostrophe Rain.
True.
Temple Songs by Laura Veers. Say You Say I Romanticize by Sweeping Promises. Although it's probably more You Say I Romanticize by Sweeping Promises. But we got your 2 big hitters of the week. I mean, I guess Bonnie Blanco could be considered a big hitter, but
I guess.
We also have Lost Weekend by Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah.
Yes, that Phoebe Bridgers.
Yes.
And The Womack Sisters by The Womack Sisters.
No way.
Yes, yes way. Uh, Self-titled album, although this is probably what their eighth, 10th album.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah, those are your new releases.
Yeah, I'll listen to that Phoebe Bridgers thing.
I assumed you would, and normally we'd be talking about that.
Yeah, I'll probably talk about it next week. It's been a while since
Mhm.
the last Phoebe Bridgers record.
All right. Are you listening to it on Spotify?
I don't have a Spotify subscription, so no.
Good. That means you are not supporting Spotify, or should I say Spotify AI, as the AI era threatens to lay further siege to Spotify. The streaming service is drawing a line in the sand in the battlegrounds against AI slop artists. Spotify is rolling out a new label next month for accounts on the platform that appear to be AI generated. Starting mid September, the streamer will affix AI persona labels on profiles that appear to be lacking in, you know, human nature. Those badges will appear on the artist's profile, in the search tab, and alongside their names on playlists. But profiles with such labels will be excluded from the company's prize algorithmic recommendations for its users. Spotify will allow artists to proactively disclose a profile is an AI persona. But for those who don't, the platform's human mods will do it themselves and after a review using their own AI tools. So a slight punching back against the AI airwaves, or I guess
Yeah,
AI airwaves.
airwaves. I mean, you know how I feel about Spotify. I do not by any means need to give credit to them for this. It is the least they could do. But it is news when the biggest music streaming platform on the planet decides to actually do something and label the AI. This is not too dissimilar to what Steam is doing with video games, where it labels AI use. And yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing, generally speaking. I do like that they're not including them in their already awful algorithm. Those playlists, as I've talked about before on this show, already have like ghost artists that don't really even exist. So an AI, like, again, it's kind of like the story says, it's like they are drawing a line in the sand, but like that line has moved a few times. And so it could move again for all we know.
Right, and
But
all
for now,
that line is doing is just labeling it. It's not removing it from the platform. It's still
yeah.
there. It's still generating clicks.
I think it's interesting that Spotify is choosing to do this and choosing to at least appear as if they're trying to push AI generated music out of view for most of their users.
I mean, not
Interesting.
everyone can be Ella Langley and choose in Texas.
No, turns out very few people can. She just continues beating records. I still don't understand what's going on there. But yeah. So again, I don't want to give Spotify any more credit than they're due. But this is good. And I do hope that the other streaming services follow suit.
I mean, it is a step in the AI fight direction.
Yeah.
A bigger step and a bigger point would be to remove it completely.
You would hope, but
You would think.
but consider that last sentence. They're using their own AI tools to find
Yes,
the AI music.
I've,
So
I've fought the AI with its own AI.
yeah, they're entrenched in this already. It's I don't think that they're going to get rid of it. But we'll see.
I mean, we will, and also we won't because neither of us are subscribed to Spotify.
That's
We'll have
true.
to wait for the news to come out. But we are the news. We generate the news. No, we talk about the news. All right, but we also talk about thoughts. Did you listen to anything?
No, no, nothing to really report this week.
Yep. Like I mentioned, the Phoebe Bridgers album comes out
Yeah.
technically tomorrow as of this
Well,
recording.
tonight at
Tonight.
9, if you want to be specific.
I
I at
mean, yeah, if
least
you
I
want to wait
assume.
another couple hours. I can't. You can.
No, rather not.
All right. Then let's move on into video games, where we start with new releases. We got two out this week. First up, Sinking City 2 for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. And
Mhm.
a game I implore everyone to play, Dusk Fade for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch 2. It's everywhere. You got it. You can play it. I suggest you all play it. It's a
Yeah,
great platformer.
I had not heard of this. It was not on my radar until you brought it up in the pre-pod.
Yep,
So yeah,
officially released as of today. I did not get a chance to play it yet. I do have a very busy weekend, but I do plan on finding some time to actually play this and provide my full thoughts on it next week. I did, if you are hesitant at this game, because it is from a relatively new studio, Beluga Games.
Hmm,
It's only their second game ever, um, from the studio. There is a demo out. Play the demo. See if you like it. It does invoke a lot of the feelings of like classic PS2 games, platformers, of like Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, some Kingdom Hearts thrown in there as well. The demo is a lot longer than you think it is, and it goes through a lot of different places and it
hmm,
just keeps going. When you think it's done, it just keeps going. And there's a lot to explore here, and there's also a lot to unlock and makes you want to go back to the levels and explore even more.
cool.
So I can see sinking some time into this game.
Okay, that's good to hear. Good to hear. I
Yeah.
like when there's something I haven't heard of that seems good. That's good news. As for things that aren't good, I do
Yeah,
have a little bit of game information before we move on to this the news. Super Mario Sunshine is out on the Nintendo Switch 2's GameCube collection today. If you are an expansion pass member to
hmm.
Nintendo Online,
But
uh, my advice is if you are curious or nostalgic about going back to Super Mario Sunshine, a game that, let's be real, it's okay. It's not the worst Mario game. I don't think it's the best Mario game. It's somewhere in the middle for me. Um, that being said, that game really needs a GameCube controller, and playing it on Joy-Cons is a really awkward experience. So let that be a warning to you if you're planning on joining everybody in the nostalgia party of Mario Sunshine's at edition today. You might struggle with the controls like I did, and it's immediately go back to the N64 section to play Super Mario 64, which is a better game.
ooh,
I'm sorry, it is. I did have a thought. I was playing the first level of Super Mario 64 again, and I was like, everybody has that game that they could probably speed run.
mhm.
Maybe Super Mario 64 is that game for me. I could probably do it. So I don't know. Just idle thoughts.
Yes, all that time on your hands you can use to speed run games. All
No,
the
not
time
quite.
for finishing a game in a really short amount of time.
Sure. Speaking of time, things that take a lot of time.
Yes, withdrawing takes a lot of time. Matt, do you make a withdrawal here?
I already made that withdrawal when Pokemon Champions came out, so I actually dodged this bullet. But this will be a PSA for people who haven't done that yet.
Yes, because the it's going to be a run on the Pokemon Bank, as it will shut down early next year. The storage app was originally released for the Nintendo 3DS back in 2013 and offered a cloud storage solution for Pokemon players to let them store up to not one, not two, but 3,000 Pokemon. Players were able to transfer their Pokemon from Black and White also, X and Y, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and Sun and Moon games to the Pokemon Bank, aka those Nintendo 3DS games. Um, so It enabled players to store and transfer their collection. Now, as we all remember, the Nintendo 3DS eShop was shut down in March of 2023. However, the Pokemon Company has continued to run the Pokemon Bank app as a service for free, even though the Pokemon Bank app was delisted as a result of the shutdown. And even after Nintendo ended support for online connectivity back in April of 2024, the Pokemon Company continued to run its service for Pokemon Bank. But the time has come. It
Mhm.
has now been announced that Pokemon Bank will officially sunset and shut down its servers on February 25th, 2027 at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time, or 12:00 Greenwich Mean Time.
So, as you might know, the Pokemon Bank concept continues in a product called Pokemon Home, which
Mhm.
is available on mobile and on Switch platforms. At some point, what you should have done, and what you still can do for the next few months, is move those Pokemon from Pokemon Bank into Pokemon Home. You can do that. And then you would have them available for modern games, such as the Switch games and Pokemon Champions. Um, just a note. So this story mentions that the 3DS era games and slightly before Black and White and Black and White 2 are the games that you could transfer Pokemon into the Pokemon Bank. What if I told you that actually it goes back further with some finagling? So way, way back in the day, you could actually move through the cartridge slot in your DS for Game Boy Advance cartridges. You could technically move Game Boy Advance era Pokemon to Diamond and Pearl and trade them to Black and White, and then trade them to Pokemon Bank, and then trade them to Pokemon Home. So in theory, you could have like a Zigzagoon from Pokemon Ruby from 2002 in Pokemon Champions if it supports it. I actually don't know if
Yeah, weird
Zigzagoons are
thing
there.
went with Zigzagoon out of all Pokemon.
It's just that's the first Gen 3 Pokemon I thought of because it's like in the first route is like you
Oh,
see a
see, I thought you were
Zigzagoon.
making a zigzag
Oh,
reference.
no, but that's more clever than I was actually thinking. So thank
Okay.
you. Um, but yeah, so in theory, you could go all the way back to 25 years of Pokemon by the time that this is turned off. So make sure you do that. Do some cleaning, like Pokemon tidying up, in order to get all your monsters. Or don't, or just move on and don't worry about your old guys who've just been sitting in the vault for all these years. Like you don't have to do any of this. That's the cool thing is that no one's forcing you. It's just that you will lose those Pokemon if you have any care about them, if you have any nostalgia for them, if you don't move them. So there's that. But now you know.
I mean, at this point, you would think, and I think this is part of Nintendo Pokemon's thought process, is if you haven't moved it to Pokemon Home now,
Right.
you probably don't care that much
Yeah.
or that seriously about the Pokemon in Pokemon Bank.
Yeah. And also Pokemon Home, by the way, is not free. It is a subscription service, but it's pretty light. It's like 2.99 a month.
Mhm.
So it's not really bad. But yeah, that's just FYI for people who are planning on
Yeah, I
doing
think it's like
this.
20 bucks a year. It's basically like an extra um, Nintendo Switch Online subscription.
Mhm.
All right. Well, if I don't happen to install Pokemon Bank by the time February comes around, I guess I lose my deposit.
Literally.
All
Literally.
right.
I sold my 3DS, so actually I don't have any access to Pokemon Bank anymore. So
Oh,
I'm glad I did it when I did.
would you like to buy a 3DS?
I'm good.
Okay. Have you
Why?
played
I just sold
anything?
mine. I just sold it. I don't need it anymore.
All right,
Also,
have you
Christy
played?
still has one if I'm really that desperate.
Okay.
She has my old
The
one.
the 3DS Lite, right?
No, I actually ended up having a 2DS XL. by the end of the life cycle of that era. That's the thing I just sold. Those
If
are
the
worth
DS
two
had
hundred
so
and
many
fifty
life
dollars.
cycles.
Yeah, I got a
All right.
pretty penny for it.
Okay. So I don't think you've been playing anything new then.
No, I played more Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is not new.
Okay, you should have just gone and watched the Odyssey instead.
I still haven't.
All right. Well, that's a movie thing. But we got to move on into television, where we start with
Indeed.
the Sports Corner. Picking up there.
Hmm.
We're going to start with the Little League Softball World
Yeah,
Series. So this past Sunday was the championship game, and Clayton, North Carolina, won the game 2-0 over Owensboro, Kentucky. Congratulations to Clayton. You are the Little League Softball World Series champions. The Little League Baseball World Series is continuing right now. You can watch those games on ESPN with the championship at the end of August. So watch this space as we get closer to the end of that. But we have big baseball to talk about as
big.
the Rays are currently on a 9-game win streak and, as such, have vaulted them to the best record in baseball at 74 wins, 46 losses.
Yeah.
Now, I know I can hear you screaming back there, fan of the show, Christy, that the Milwaukee Brewers
Yes.
also have won 74 games, but they've also played one more game, so they have 47 losses, giving
Right.
them just slightly worse record by
That
average.
being that being said, though, that's an impressive run for the Rays, and it does continue their season of shocking everyone in the American League. So, congratulations to the Rays. Maybe they'll go all the way this season. Could it be? Could it be time for Tampa Bay?
I mean, maybe they're always like run a really well-run organization on a
Yeah.
shoestring budget.
Same thing with Milwaukee. What if, wow, what an idea, what a World Series that would be. A Milwaukee Tampa Bay World Series. Like, talk about two underappreciated fan bases finally getting their moment in the sun. I would love to see that. But now we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, that's an October talk.
That's October talk, or
Yeah,
at least last week of September talk.
and hey, we still got to deal with well, September talk first, which is football talk, and
Eh,
it's currently preseason as we get in August and closer to it. Preseason games are currently happening. The
sure.
new Bill Stadium, where the Super Bowl will be hosted in a couple of years, opens this upcoming Saturday with its own preseason games. The Bills have announced that the starters will go out and play the opening snaps because they want them to be the first ones on the field ceremoniously, blah, 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 blah.
Makes
What the
sense.
internet cannot shut up about is the blocked viewing of the new stadium,
Oh, uh-oh.
as if they've never been to the LA Memorial Coliseum and had blocked viewing, as if they've never been to Fenway Park and
Yeah.
had blocked viewing.
Never had a ticket that says obstructed view before? Come on, you
Yeah,
haven't
never been
lived.
to Lucas Oil Stadium and say obstructed view.
Obstructed view.
You ever been to SoFi? See all the way up at the 500s?
Obstructed
Obstructed
view.
view.
Anyway,
Like this is some new concept that the Bills have never like dealt with before.
well,
Well, people will
privileged.
complain online whenever a new stadium gets built.
Yeah.
Speaking of a new stadium being built,
Hmm.
the Chicago Bears may no longer be in Chicago, as they have not. In fact, they do not even be in the state of
Of
Illinois
Illinois.
anymore. As the Bears have announced that they are full force in building a new stadium in Hammond, Indiana.
So correct me if I'm wrong. This is a
You're
slight
wrong, but
change
go
of
ahead.
plans, right? Is that they originally had a site in like kind of the Chicago suburbs.
Yes, there was originally so there were two sites.
Yeah.
One was the Hammond in Illinois. The other
Hmm.
one was a sports park just outside of Chicago.
Yeah. But this is a
The
third option.
owners, no, no, this is
Oh, the first option.
Yeah, this
You
is the
said
first
Illinois
option.
and confused me. You meant Indiana.
Yes, Indiana, Hammond, Indiana. Well, may or may not happen because I've been reading a lot of reports, and one of them has come out and said that the part of the Bears moving to Hammond, Indiana, is that they can no longer call themselves Chicago and that they want Indiana in the name. So they may be the Indiana Bears
Oh
when
my
all is said
God,
and
that'd
done.
be weird.
Well, yeah, because they've been the Chicago Bears for over 100 years.
I mean,
Uh,
it's not that Indiana does not have any other teams. Obviously, there's the Indianapolis Colts.
yeah, but that's in
Um,
the middle of Indiana.
yeah, this is far enough away where it's not
It's
going to be
far enough
confused.
north to where it's by Chicago, where Chicago was. But I mean, it's like we still say the San Francisco 49ers, even though they're the Santa Clara 49ers.
Yeah, that's true.
And we still call them the San Diego Chargers, even though they play in Los Angeles.
No one calls them the San Diego Chargers. They're still the Los Angeles. They're named the Los Angeles Chargers now.
There are some of us here who will not give up the San Diego name.
I mean, hey, I get it. Like, there's like so many petitions, like every month or so, for them to put Anaheim back in the Angels' name. So it's like, yeah, I get it to a certain extent. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. I mean, there's still people out there, few of them out there, that still want them to be called the St. Louis Rams.
that's true. I don't
They're
get that.
wrong, but they're out there. Just like the LA Raiders back in
All right,
Oakland.
we could just keep doing this.
They're Las
So
Vegas.
you have to stop yourself because we could just name like literally every
Literally
team that's
every single
existed.
team that can.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one I'm going to talk about though is the Minneapolis Lakers and how they moved to Los Angeles to become the
Yeah.
LA Lakers.
Yeah, all the lakes that we have in Los
Yes,
Angeles.
yes, there are no
All those
lakes in Los
lakes.
Angeles.
Hmm,
Well, what they do have is a big lake, a big pool of money,
that's true.
as the Lakers are being sold.
Yep.
Josh Kushner, yes,
Not that Kushner,
not that
his
Kushner, but
brother.
brother of that Kushner,
Yes.
and Bob Iger, not
Yes.
head of Disney Bob Iger,
Former head of Disney,
former head
Bob
of Disney
Iger.
Bob Iger. They have both gotten in a deal together to buy the Los Angeles Lakers for $12.5 billion. Dollars.
And if you're listening to this and this sounds like deja vu, yes, we did report 10 months ago that the Lakers were sold to Mark Walter, owner of the Dodgers.
Yep, and
Well,
his group. But,
now that's not the case.
well, I mean, yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, but
They
he
did
just
sell.
flipped it.
Well, I mean, if you paid $10 billion for something, waited 10 months, and someone wanted to offer you an extra 2.5 billion,
2.5.
and you don't have to deal with a LeBron-less Lakers anymore,
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, you have to like LeBron is no longer your problem, and they're paying you 2.5 billion to not be the head anymore, on top of your initial investment of 10 billion. I see why he took the deal. I think it's an absurd amount of money. Maybe this means Lakers get more Disney-fied. Or sorry, former Disney-fied, because he's the former Disney CEO.
yeah, I don't get what the pull is for that, besides like the Lakers being like a storied franchise, but they don't really have a star player anymore.
Luca,
I
Luca
guess.
Doncic.
Sure. But like,
He's gonna put asses in buckets.
bucket seats.
Yeah, bucket seats.
I love a bucket seat. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. I don't get it, but maybe there's something we don't know.
Mm, I'm not sure. Like, if you have $12.5 billion, why not buy the Angels? They're for sale.
I don't think they're worth that much.
Exactly. You can get them cheaper than
regardless,
$12.5 billion
yeah,
dollars. That's what I'm saying.
regardless of what Artie thinks, I do not think that they are worth $12.5 billion.
That's what I'm saying. Former
Save
CEO
some
Bob
money.
Iger could have bought the Ducks and the Angels and have his teams back in his palm of his hand
I
and not
don't.
deal with Josh
Well,
Kushner.
first of all, how many of the Iger years were in there? Because like I
None.
can't
They were the
imagine
Eisner
that
years.
many, right? That was mostly Eisner's project.
Yes, they were
I
Eisner years.
don't I want to say that maybe when Actually, you know what? I do want to say that
90s.
they were maybe still Disney franchises when they won their respective championships, but like I think the year after the
Not for the
Ducks win,
Ducks. The
I
Ducks was
thought the
after
year
they sold and
it
they
was
changed
after
their
they
logo.
sold.
It was '06 they won.
I thought it was a five. I don't know.
The,
Regardless, it was either the year of or the year after,
it was the
which
year
is
after
crazy.
because they sold, they changed their jerseys to those god awful orange and black jerseys.
Hey, they course corrected now, from what I
And then they
understand.
won the
Yeah.
championship. Their only Stanley Cup championship.
But yeah, regardless, I think it's interesting though. It's like, yeah, like Iger was not, I don't think a whole, I want to say Iger was already barely CEO at that point when the Ducks win. Maybe a year or two. Like I think '04
Yeah.
is the big Eisner,
Well, the
uh,
Angels won in '02.
yeah. But '04 I think is the big Eisner push out when the board forces him out with Roy Disney Jr. and all that stuff.
Wait, are we talking about Disney or are we talking about sports?
Disney. Anyway.
Anyways, I mean, that's all I got for sports.
Okay. Well,
Well, yeah, and Summer League continues
yeah, Summer
for
League
basketball.
continues. The AUSL continues their cup that we mentioned.
Hmm.
Sad news about Montana Fouts fans, pitcher for the Talons. Has ended up getting injured, so she's out of that 40-person roster and will not be competing.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, the WPL continues. Yeah, it continues. That's really all there is to say about that. The Queens were way ahead, and then the Firebells are now making a run. So we'll see. California teams seem to be on top. Oh yeah, and there was some controversy about the Boston Hunters manager. He was a former Red Sox pitcher, and he was fired after 3 games and replaced with somebody else. Depending on who you ask, it was for you get different answers about why. The official line from the first manager is that they were supposedly coming after him for being like a pain to deal with because he was commuting via plane from his home into games in Illinois. They didn't like paying for that, I presume. And but the official line from the commissioner is that they wanted a better fit for like a younger team than maybe he was able to offer. So depending on who you believe, who knows? But yeah, already drama only 3 days in. Uh,
Dramas
but yeah,
everywhere. All
but
right.
that's all I got for those.
All right. Well, that's all we got for sports. Then let's talk about TV news and a
Yes.
separate billionaire.
Yeah, a separate billionaire that's been in the news lately for a separate media company. Yes, David Ellison is prepared to start moving Paramount out of California as soon as October 1st, unless the Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merger is resolved through a settlement with the state's attorney general. The final hurdle to closing the merger is California's antitrust case. Therefore, if the state attorney general does not agree to negotiate a settlement in the case by then, the company will begin the process of exiting California starting October 1st. Ellison told Paramount senior execs last week that he will relocate Paramount's operations and that the Paramount Skydance board has approved the move. In response, the state attorney general called Ellison's planned exit from the state an, quote, attempt to blackmail the state into letting an illegal deal through, end quote. Sounds like it to me. Paramount will need to have the deal closed by October 1st, or it will begin accruing fees owed to shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery of $7 million per day until the deal closes. And as you will know, they're already incurring a lot of debt by even doing this in the first place. So more debt is probably not what the Ellisons want to see. So this is kind of the deck stacked against them. I think they're just gonna have to deal.
Yeah, this is not $7 million per shareholder, it's just 7 million total to the shareholders.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it does sound like they're going to pull from at least Los Angeles and probably move headquarters to New York, where, oh no, they're going to deal with Mamandi over there as
I was gonna
mayor.
say like that. Why would that doesn't make any sense? Like,
Well,
there's
where are they going to
nowhere
move?
they can
Texas?
go. I guess Texas, but like,
Florida?
you can't run a movie studio from Texas. Let's be real.
Georgia.
Like,
They're gonna move to Georgia.
yeah, maybe, but like even that, I don't know. I
Where's that
just
Florida Georgia line?
no, they're retired. I don't even think they make music anymore.
Now the producers now.
Other producers now. Okay,
Yeah, they
great.
cranked out Morgan Wallen.
Oh God, really? No wonder. That makes so much sense now. But yeah, no, I got nothing for the Ellisons. I think this is stupid. This sound like blackmail. It kind of reminds me of when all the billionaires, I should say, were like, "Oh, if California passes this rich person tax, I'm gonna move." Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. That's kind of how I feel. Is I believe it. I'll believe it when I see
I mean, it sounds like a lot of those gig workers like ads that they ran everywhere,
it. Right.
which ended up working in their
That ended up working out in
favor.
their favor, but that's unfortunate.
Yes,
But anyway.
unfortunately, working out in their favor. But yeah, it's classic bullying technique of, well, if I'm not going to get my way, I'm just going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Mm. What babies? All right, let's move on.
All right.
Stop talking about babies and talk about some cancellations and renewals.
Yeah, real quickly, I was
Hmm.
House of Dragon. It did end on
Oh,
Sunday.
okay.
I am planning on finishing it tonight.
Well, there
So
you
had we
go.
had a normal show, I wouldn't be able to talk about it. But overall, what I said before still
Hmm.
stands.
Okay.
That it's a really high price show. You see all of the money on the screen. Everyone acting there is really, really good. It's really, really powerful. But I also haven't finished it yet, so I don't know how exactly it ends.
Guess we'll
Hopefully
find
it ends
out.
with a big battle. I'm not there yet. No spoilers, please. Although do spoil it in the comments. Please
I,
write
I,
comments.
I
Spoil it for
won't.
me.
I won't spoil. No, no, don't spoil it.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Like I said, cancellations and renewals.
What am I no longer watching?
Got nothing for you in that category, but I do have one renewal. I've got SWAT Exiles on
If
Stars.
you have never heard of SWAT Exiles on Stars,
It's
that's
because you're
because,
normal and you don't have a Stars subscription.
well, also, this is yet to premiere. This is actually
Oh yeah.
ahead of its premiere in
Mm.
September. And this is actually a spin-off of SWAT on CBS.
Yes, SWAT. Yes,
So it's,
that's
so it's
SWAT.
SWAT Exiles coming September to Stars. But apparently they like what they saw, or they like its numbers and budget-wise, that they decided to give it a second season.
Okay. Yep. So there you go. Second season for that one.
All right.
Or it even has aired. Let's move on into the last segment of the show, which is movies. And we always start the movie section with the weekend box office numbers.
Now I tried to tell
Yeah,
you. I tried to tell you.
you're on a hot streak, but I guess that's not super surprising that Spider-Man outdid my expectations yet again. It seems to be a trend with this movie. Spider-Man Brand New Day is your number one again this week to the tune of $144 million. Yeah, which gives you that point. You guessed it would be more than 120. So yeah, it did better than half of its previous week's earnings. So congratulations to Spider-Man for not hemorrhaging that many people. Number two, The Odyssey, still here, $31 million. That's at 461 domestic. Number three, One Night Only. Did not only have one night, it had three over the weekend, at $5.5 million in its debut. Number four, Toy Story 5 made another 4.2 million. That's at 470. And rounding out your top five, your other debut from last week, Super Troopers 3 made $4 million. That's it.
I don't think we'll see Super Troopers 4.
No, I can't imagine we will. Upcoming this coming up week, wow, a lot going on
Oh, hear
here.
this.
But first, something for the children in your life. Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, hits theaters this weekend, so that's you know what your plans are if you have a 5-year-old. The End of Oak Street, which I don't know what that is.
This is the dinosaur movie starring
Wow,
Anne Hathaway.
a lot of dinosaurs this week.
Yeah.
And then something that has nothing to do with dinosaurs, the theatrical release of the pro shot of Six, the musical.
I
I
mean, I guess they're dinosaurs because it's ye old
Yeah,
England.
it's oh yeah, sure. I really like Six. I've seen it in on stage, and I do think it's a pretty good musical. It is a pop musical, but it's not as surface level as that sounds. And also, if you're a history buff, it is about Henry VIII's wives, and it does walk through historically accurate ways in which they lived and died. So yeah, it's kind of two things at once. I think it works. It's a peanut butter and chocolate mix for me. Um, so yeah, if you haven't seen it, this is probably the best, most accessible way to go see it. I do recommend Six as a musical.
All right.
All right, that's
But it
it
won't be
this
your number
week.
one movie next week.
No, it'll be Spider-Man again. I
Okay.
think
You
that
don't
I
think
don't.
Paw Patrol is going to do it?
No, not even on
Over
the strength
70
of
million?
kids. No, because the previous Paw Patrol movies didn't hit number one either, so this one won't.
Mhm.
Like, why would it? So no, it's just
Because there's a
Spider-Man again.
dinosaur in it.
It's just Spider-Man again, and it is your week, thank God, to choose the number because I can't. I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about.
So I tried to give you a hint. I tried to say, let's put it up to 150 last week.
It
And you're
just
like,
seemed
no,
like
we'll keep it at
too much.
120.
But now it's your turn.
All right, now it's my turn. So half would be 70.
Right.
I assume Paw Patrol's not going to eat it to its audience. End
No.
of Oak Street's not going to eat it to its audience. Well, it
No.
might,
Not
but
that
not a whole
much.
lot. So I'll put 70 million then.
Okay.
Over under 70.
So you get to choose first.
Oh, I put the number. Do I get to
I know
choose?
you. We've been doing both.
Okay. Um, I'll keep over. I'll say, even though half is 70,
Yeah,
like you mentioned, it'll do
it could.
more better than half.
Yeah, it might. So okay, we'll see. We'll
All right.
check back in next week. All right, that moves in to our movie news for the week, and our movie news is an update on a completely different kind of sequel. A sequel to an Oscar favorite. Yes, Barbie 2? Question mark. The New York Times reported recently that the follow-up to Barbie, the highest-grossing movie in Warner Brothers history, was in peril. Dun dun dun, thanks to stalled deal talks. The creative team of Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach, Ryan Gosling, and Margot Robbie I have a couple of misspellings here. I think you need to take a T out of Greta and put it at the end of Margot's name, and then we're good.
Okay.
They've had more than 6 offers in the past 3 years, all of which have been rejected. The main sticking point, as you would not be surprised to learn, is money, with the price of the package, quote unquote, which means the cost of all 4 of them working together, may be historic, but individual compensation apparently is not. Warner Brothers has until the end of the year to put a movie into active development, or else the rights to Barbie will revert to Mattel. If new contracts don't materialize, Mattel will not be permitted, as per contract for the first movie, to use a shred of Gerwig's Barbie as a jumping point. It will have to do a full reboot, as they cannot make a sequel to that movie without the involvement of that package.
Mhm. They can't make a sequel to it. They can't make a
Yeah,
reference to it. It
right.
has to be a completely new version of Barbie.
And the thing is that it's very easy to say, well, they can just make a Barbie movie and it would still work. It's easy to say that. But I do think, and I think a lot of people, especially critics, would agree with me, is that part of the reason why that movie did so well was because of the specific version of the Barbie story it told and the creative talent involved. You're losing a whole big element. Also, you're confusing audiences who come in and maybe expect that kind of Barbie and maybe don't get that kind of movie at all. So yeah, I do think that it's smart for Greta and company to be playing hardball here. Because if they don't feel like they're being compensated for the sequel to the biggest movie in Warner Brothers history, then yes, they absolutely should be. And so they should keep stonewalling executives until they get their way. Like, I don't blame them at all for that. They know their worth and they should get it.
I mean, they are, I mean, part of the deal is that it is a life-changing amount of money that they are handing them.
Yeah.
But also,
But
if that money is not being divvied up to the respective people who provide the most input and are in charge of it,
right.
even though, yes, Ryan Gosling is hot right now, both physically and box officely, that does not mean he should be paid more or as much as the lead. He is the co-star.
Here's my question. So it says that the deadline for this decision to take place is by the end of the year. Do you
Yes.
know what else happens by the end of this year?
The takeover.
No, well, maybe. We'll see. Look back to our television story to see more about that. No, I was going to say Greta Gerwig's big blockbuster Narnia film.
Mm,
And so, do you think that the fate of that sequel project rests in the hands of the success of Narnia? I would not be surprised if they're waiting it out. Because, for example, if Greta turns out to do this twice, take
mhm,
a storied IP and make a huge blockbuster film without compromising a vision
yep.
that only a talented director like her could do, does Warner Brothers immediately pony up the money? I think they do. But if by chance, and I hope this doesn't happen, if it bombs, then Warner Brothers has reason then to be like, well, we can make a Barbie movie without your poisonous name on it and move on. I really do think. I wonder if there have been that maybe this is the new linchpin that this rests on. I don't recall when Narnia comes out. I know it's later this year at
Mm,
some point.
it is not December. Is it
Oh, really?
November?
Is next year?
Is it next year?
Oh God, is it really? I thought it was this year.
Yeah, I don't see it on the calendar.
Oh, then I guess I'm wrong. Then this will happen before that, so they can't wait.
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I could have sworn that was coming out this year, but I can't. I guess not.
No, they have. Well, no, that's it. That's not Warner Brothers. I say Jumanji Open World, but that's Sony.
That's
No,
Sony.
Warner
Yeah.
Brothers has Dune
They do have
this
Dune.
year. Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I hope they get to make that like the movie that they want to make, though.
I hope so. I mean, if part of what made Barbie good in the first place was Greta Gerwig's voice, Greta Gerwig's writing,
Yeah.
and yeah, if she's
All right.
going to come back as writer and director and producer, then she should be paid as such. And yeah, like I said, part of that movie work. And okay, our audience going to be as excited, however long it continues to wait for a Barbie 2 movie?
I
Because
don't
you gotta
know.
wait for Ryan Gosling's schedule to clear up and Margot Robbie's schedule to clear up. Or do they drop whatever they were currently doing and go and make Barbie? Scheduling. It's a fun thing to talk about. Or,
Always.
we just kind of end with this and just Barbie the movie was a nice little package when it came out with Barbenheimer, and we just move on with everything.
Oppenheimer 2. Let's go. No, I'm kidding. All right. That'll do it then for that story. Any movies that you have watched this week?
No.
Okay.
I've been watching
Um,
a lot of interviews with Coyote versus Acme, which comes
oh
out at
yeah.
the end of the month. Promotions are currently running all through August.
Cool.
I believe several reviews are currently out right now.
Ooh, okay. I'm looking forward to seeing how that is received. Um, I watched a movie after your non-recommendation last week.
I
Um,
I said you get what you expected.
I did not get what I expected,
Okay, I'm
and
sorry.
I think you were far too kind to The Devil Wears Prada too. I had a miserable time with that movie. I thought that the characters were not as interesting. I thought the plot was 100% predictable in a way that the first movie avoided. And I just thought it was completely unnecessary. I thought it was a waste of time for everybody involved, especially Meryl Streep, who was sleepwalking through this. Let's be real. Um, I just didn't get anything out of it.
I'm sorry you didn't get any fashion out of it.
No, because even the fashion was bad. And
But the whole
Chris,
thing's built around fashion.
yeah, you would think, but Christy agreed with me. Like I thought, I kept asking her, I was like, "It's not just me, right? Like that's a terrible dress." And she was like, "Yeah, no, I agree." Like, okay, I feel vindicated. It was not just me. There's some really awful fashion in this fashion movie.
All
So yeah,
right.
no, just don't bother is my advice.
But it stars Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I mean,
She
if
has
you
a lot of
want,
movies coming out this year.
here's the thing. There are better ways to watch Anne Hathaway for 2 hours.
The
This is not
Odyssey
one
is
of them.
one of them.
Yeah. This is not one of them. Like, this is not even the best way to watch Anne Hathaway for 2 hours right now.
Right, because you
So
can watch the end of Oak Street out in theaters.
there you go. Oh, she's just in everything, isn't she?
Yeah.
All right. All right. That'll do it. That's it for this podcast then. That's it. We're out in almost an hour. Look at that. What a week, what a slow week will do for our
Right, who is it?
podcast.
Anne Hathaway. Ewan McGregor. That's the coast. I couldn't think of the dude's name. Ewan
Ewan
McGregor and Anne
McGregor.
Hathaway are in the end of Oak Street.
There you go. Dinosaurs. All right. Well, we'll be back next week for more. But in the meantime, if you want to listen to us in audio form, we're on podcast services like Media Boat Podcast. Just search that and you'll find us. I don't know why I said it like that. It's a weird way to say it. We're in video form on YouTube. Just search YouTube for Media Boat Podcast and you'll find our channel. Like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications when new videos go live. You can also find us on Blue Sky by searching Media Boat Podcast there. And last but not least be, you can email us questions, comments, feedback about the show, anything you want. Our email address is mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com. This is what happens when we do the show late, is that I'm already kind of in sleepy mode and I haven't eaten dinner yet. So there's part of that. All right, that'll do it. We'll be back next week for more news, more thoughts, all that stuff.
Yep. We will have. Oh God, what is coming next week?
I'll talk about the Phoebe
Oh,
Bridgers record
D23. It's this weekend.
and D23 news.
We'll have all the news from D23 next time with
Next
more
time.
Rooster thoughts and more of us.
So look forward to that.
All right, bye.